Blue Goom, switching sides because the nigga with the. I'm sorry, the way we do it here is the nigga with the best hairline goes first. Sorry, I have my second week haircut fitted on. So we'll do this. How you doing? I heard you and then I did not hear you. You did an Android.
I just unplugged. Is my shit jumping?
No, it was. You did a log and disappeared. But you back now.
Oh, that's because I finally took these out because I see that you're not using them. So
where's your Yeti?
Oh, it's right here.
Oh,
you want to see this?
Why is it over there? Is it on you? Do you have it near you? Hold on. It's about to get real. What did you do?
What happened? What did you hit your head on, Leon? Leon, what did you hit your head on?
There's nothing going on.
Where?
You want to hit the door? Punch the door. Show the door who's boss. Hey, this is just an average every day at my house. I go.
Where did you hit your head, Leon?
What's happening back there?
Where? What did you hit
I'm
your
trying
head?
to get lights right.
You ready to go to bed?
Don't do that. It's not that. It's not that, dog.
Wait, do it.
Well, he was running in here to get away from me.
Oh, so it's your fault.
So that you could put him to bed. He looked at me and said, "I love Daddy," and then ran in here.
You know it's a lie.
Yeah, it is a lie.
Hey, no, they do love us, bro.
Say hello to Howard.
Hello to Howard.
Hello.
We decided we were going to be live today, and hey, son.
He's about to break his neck.
That's fine. All right, hang on. Let's do this. Segue. I made a fancy drink.
Come on, Leon. Daddy's live.
I made a fancy drink. I did a thing. I took a cocktail class with the wife, and I said that you know what, I want to keep this. I want to keep this going.
Daddy's talking to us.
Well, all right. Well.
Yeah. All right, I'm fine with that. Yeah. So you good to go? Look. I just want to know. The reason I put my headphones on is because I have you guys to let me know if you can hear me or not. I just was like, you know what, forget it. I'm not a professional, so I didn't feel the need to be.
No, I can hear you, bro. So.
Can you hear them?
Yeah, I can hear them clearly.
Oh, I could turn it down, but I feel like why not? That's the hype. I'm fine with it.
Now is my volume good?
I mean, you're coming through my actual speaker.
Everybody's volume's good. Mic check.
In case you want to know.
Yeah. Bro,
in case you're wondering who runs stuff in this establishment, this guy.
She sure did sound check me right quick.
Yeah, it's fine. Everyone's fine. Damn.
Yeah.
Anyway, hang on. Yes, sorry, bro. I want to take a time out. Okay.
What's up?
Now I feel subconscious again. What the fuck? You changed your hair to nothing luxurious. Are those even dreads, or you just got like amazing curls?
Oh no, these are 2 strands. These are just twists. So yeah.
Say, bro, we came a long way from naps, bro.
We did, bro. Like, I can't even say what it really is. It might be juices and berries, but I can honestly say, like, I've been.
Well,
I've been going out.
Like, legitimately, I just want to take a moment to let you know that right now you look like you're filming on the Android because it's so the purple, the hue. But I do want to let you know right now it's still crispy. And in the fact that I can see luxurious. Here's the thing.
Should I bring the light down? Should I bring it up?
Oh yeah, there we go. Bring it up. Let's see that. I want you to know you glisten. Here's the thing. I've never felt more helpless because I want to go get a brush, but I know I ain't gonna do a damn thing. And so now I'm just doing this. This is that panic. This is a panic.
You panicking, bro? Don't panic.
It's fantastic. They're like, even my camera just trying to help. It's like, let's see if I can refocus into the line. Look at this.
It's true. Now I could let me see if I can help this room out. I'm gonna go.
The funny thing about it is, it's like So did I ever tell you the story about how my barber had me go through like a midlife crisis at like 20, 25, 26?
What did he choose to do?
So here's the thing. My line grows crooked, right? And so the thing about everybody's line grows crooked, but there's this point where it goes up, right? And so I'm going to blame him for this because it's him. This wasn't him. But so this shit ended up kind of like starting to weed out and do some shit early on. And there was a point where because he was trying to bring this up, he was fucking all this up and convincing me that I was having to deal with the fact that I had a receding hairline. It was just all downhill.
Oh, he's trying to put that on you.
Oh boy. And so like there was a point in time where I did like the ball phase and shit and whatever. And I was just like, oh man, all right, I'm just gonna let it grow out. And I grew it out and it was just there. And then I just assumed it was gonna come out. And it was like, no. And then this shit started to grow back. I said, wait.
He's like, why is it growing up right here, bro?
Here's the thing. My hairline was like here somewhere. Wait, my hairline was like here. Well, you can't see the shit. My hairline was like here somewhere. And then I started seeing like growth way the fuck up here. I said, man, what the fuck is happening? I said, what are you? I said, this guy's a menace. Menace.
What he was trying to do is like some barbers, they be trying to set like they parameters on your own head. Like, man, my head already had parameters, bro. You ain't got to set your mind
over. He made me an over, and I was an under guy. He went over.
Now I ain't gonna lie.
I mean, what's the dude's name?
Which one? Who?
Mayweather. Remember he had
Mayweather?
Yeah, the little that motherfucker. That was some point. I was like, dude, I don't even know what this is. All right, I might have broke some shit.
Okay, my phone just what's happening?
Oh yeah, you know who that is.
Jeez,
you know who that is. Oh wait, that's not my phone.
Wait, that's Levi.
I'm a bother.
I love that we both answered in a group text while live. Shout out to everybody out there. Yep.
Oh, sorry. Anyway, listen. So, first and foremost, I might have started to drink before I finished eating my food, but I ate my food, so I'm doing the liquor sandwich. If you look at it,
I was gonna go get my drink, but we went live and it's too late now. So
it's us.
That is true.
They gonna figure it out.
Well, that's true. They'll figure it out. I will roll up my CBD joint though.
You picked the wrong alphabets.
I did. It's healthy, I guess. Not really because I'm smoking it, but I guess I don't know.
Hey, Cyber, are you on Twitter yet? Still?
Yeah, I'm still on Twitter. They canceled me, like they deleted my account, but they left all like my tweets up.
In the event that you come back, here's the thing: I'm mad because Tre Stewart is just there, and that motherfucker he's like that never used that motherfucker don't have a tweet, and I'm like, I reported this motherfucker as pretending to be me for like 12 times.
You reported a nigga that had your same tag.
I want him out of here. I want me in here. I want him out of here. I'm just fucking sick of it. Because I'm like Brandon. I'm like, look, I'm Tre Stewart _. Like I feel less than. Like I got the domain name, motherfucker. Like it's me, Tre Stewart.
Like I own it.
Yeah, like they don't do a dot here, but it's just like, bro, I'm salty. I'm super salty about that one. It's whatever, man. It's yeah. How was the day, Broham? How was the day?
Well, my day was good. I picked up 2 more clients, which was fantastic. What did I pick them up in? Something that you've been telling me that I'm gonna be too busy to do later.
Do it now though.
Oh, I'm definitely doing it now. I ain't crazy.
Like it's now, not later. But buddy, that first time when you have to refer someone to someone else because
you're just too expensive. Is that what you were gonna say?
Yeah. I'm gonna say you're too busy. Your priorities have shifted because I'm making more money.
Hey, look, when you said busy, it sounded like you said expensive wrong.
Yes, that's exactly. It's like I don't want to do this shit. Like I'm gonna keep 100 with you. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, right?
Okay.
I actively was trying to do like community service, the chairmanship. I wanted to keep my toe into the flyer shit, right? I was like, man, if I struck my tool up. So I want to keep this in mind. You got some people who are cold and flyer game, right? You got people who are fire at like Photoshop, right? What I've learned now that if you are still doing flyers and not trying to get into esports or trying to get on like the NBA, if you're not trying to get on a sports team, you are hustling backwards. It's like at this point, it's like they taught us that we need to learn Photoshop to grow up and to do anything. And then once you got in Photoshop, you're like, man, like by the time you get to your third club promoter, you got to realize this is in there. They were like, hey, look, hey, you missed the period. I need $10 off. Nigga, I copied and pasted from you. But you ain't catch it.
Bro. When I tell people when they book me, like as soon as they go into the book, like, and we had that consultation, I like, bro, everything that I don't do copy, especially when it comes to graphic design. Like you didn't pay me for that. So if you do, you can pay me for copy. I'll definitely do it.
You know, that was a wild. It was a wild ass time when my disclaimer was, "Hey, look, I don't read shit. That's between you. That's between you, copyright and Jesus."
I don't enunciate half of the words you put on this damn thing. So I'm gonna just trust that you got it.
Mm-hmm. At the place. If it's the wrong address, just know you have to print them shit twice. Make sure that is this the right time. Like, all right, cool.
All right. Well, and to be honest with you, I'm gonna turn them again with the period in the wrong place. That's not my that what if the layout's right.
I respect it. Here's the shit. So I found out we both did print. You know what I'm saying? We both did print. Here's the thing. I say this as candid as I can be. I used to sit down and realize y'all niggas were way better at print than I was at print. And I had to make some decisions because y'all would keep the price of the brick was a little too low for my taste. And it was like, I want to charge more, but I can't. Like, I know y'all, and y'all ain't charging an arm and a leg. I can't charge an arm and a leg, or I can charge an arm and a leg and hope they don't see y'all. And so I was like, all right.
So we were trying to charge $17.5. You feel what I'm saying? $17.5.
And I was like, all right, any of y'all know how to do web design? No? All right, cool, fuck y'all. I'm out. And so that's it.
Yeah, and you exited left super fast, right?
Well, listen, I'm letting it be known.
But you was already doing well.
No. Here's the thing. It's like, let me put it like this. It's working with y'all at Lamar, right? This is the best analogy I'm probably going to give for the night. Working with y'all at Lamar was imagine you playing a pickup game and you walk in and you go against LeBron. You might think you good, and then you see a motherfucker just jump from the fucking 3-point line, dot that bitch, shoot from double coverage, switch, go through, blaze through, quick lightning fast, and you go home. You're like, you know what? I don't think I'm ready. I don't think I'm built for the league. Them niggas a different breed. I walked in there and y'all motherfuckers were doing 360 spin moves and shit with the designs, and I was like, I remember being like, cool, man. I learned kerning, and I was just like, and Shannon was like, listen, no, that's Shannon. Casey, first day was just like, man, it ain't nothing, man. You know what, bro? You know what you gotta do? You gotta learn lightning.
How did they make it sound, Trey, when they first came?
Yeah, hey, man, all you gotta do. And listen, I want you to know, it was like a bus or something, right? I put that bitch in there, and mind you, I'll admit it, I was shit. I put the bus in, and then I put like I just put like a generic shadow. And he goes, "Oh man, ain't nothing. All you gotta do is just kind of learn how light moves and how light play, right?" And so he goes, "Look at the light source. So you got the shadow here. So that means the light coming from here. So you got to put some white on this side of the bus, right? And then because you got 4 tires, those tires each got to have their own shadow. And so you got to have the shadow, and then the body of the bus got to be there. But you got to remember the back tires got a different layer from the front tire, and it's smaller, and then the light coming this way, so they got to go this way. And then and then he's like, but remember now you got to put some shadow at the bottom of the bus. And I'm like, bitch, you do the fucking thing. You already halfway through. And he did this shit. And he's like, what do you think? And Levi was the first time I met him. He was like, no, it's cool, man. I put a little bit. And he come through and dog, listen, these motherfuckers imagine they come in to show you all you had to do with your design. And then you all of a sudden it's just 4 motherfuckers at your computer and you're just back here like, it's cool. It's cool. And they gave me a fire design that I had nothing to do. It was like, bro, this boy had an amazing. That's great for a first timer. Great, Mark, come see this. And I'm like, this was all me. I hadn't touched nothing. And I thought at first I thought it was the greatest alley, but I was so out of my depth. I was like, what the fuck are these people,
bro?
Like, and then he was like showing me. Then he showed me his butts and the conda wraps and shit. Right. And he had like the toucan sand coming out the motherfucking. First off, had the anaconda coming through the bus, but then had to show me then had the billboard with the extensions and shit. I said, y'all niggas streaming 3D. This ain't how it work. You know what I'm saying? I know gradients. I know drop shadow. I know. I was just learning how to do the stroke on the outside, and they were like working on a whole different. I said, bro, I gotta get out of here.
Thank you for calling it a stroke on the outside. Thank you,
bro. Yeah, listen, I just know how to get out of there, dog. And y'all were wilding. Like you were like talking to me about Pantones and how to color check. I say, what the fuck?
I knew colors, bro. I just knew how to do color.
Look, you want to know the funniest part is. I've dealt with a lot of different places and I've done a lot of shit. I still have not to this day seen a place with such a gap in talent as that space. Like y'all had legitimately world-class designers, and y'all had people who knew how to do Microsoft Paint all in the same establishment. Like
I'm gonna go turn off this lamp. While that pettiness sits on this stage for a second, like
you can
talk about that pettiness right there, right? Like you can talk about it right there, but I'm gonna go turn on this lamp so I can turn off this light source up here that's glaring. But
okay,
continue being petty about that Mario. Not Mario Paint, but paint.
All right, I'm just saying. All right, listen, I want to point out I'm not petty. I just think that it was incredible that you had people winning Addies and winning awards and having national campaigns. And in the same room, like 4 feet later, you had people like that were actually like higher ranked managers, not managers, but whatever they were. That is like you had to go through like 17 different revisions because it sucked. Like I can't even be like, oh, your layout. It's like it sucked. And it's like you had people that you were quality and quantity. It was like, all right, we got it out of the way. And it's like it was insane to me. And then you remember when they did the split. Then they split when they came out with Team A and Team B. I'm protecting identities here. Or technically it's S, and I don't remember the other crazy chick's name. I don't remember it at all. Shoot,
don't worry about it. We're gonna leave that to be. Just
Team Shannon, Team Karen, because she was original. She was original in that bitch. Her motherfucking ass was boy, talk all the shit and then be like, I feel attacked. Bitch, yeah, she feel attacked because you came in this bitch swinging. What the fuck you thought I was gonna do? Not me. Not me, but dog. You know the funny thing about it? She played white girl to the other girl who damn near played white girl too. And it was crazy because it was like y'all in the same team. Y'all in the same team.
I can tell you now, I will say this, like while I was there at Lamar, I was a novice designer. but being around y'all.
I wasn't there long enough to make an impact. Never mind. I was there long enough to be break room champion.
Oh yeah, well now break room. That's a whole different story. Like I can tell you right now, I think I stayed at Lamar 3 years too long because the break room was dope.
Okay, listen. We're gonna get into story number one. Okay, because we already talked about staying too long. We already talking about break room. We've had this before. Now we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it live for the record.
Do it again. Hey, I gotta get a lighter because I'm getting the lighter. Yep.
I can't even say lighter. Lighter. I thought
lighter.
Yes, I thought you would say I'm about to go get lighter. I'm about to take a shit. All right, that's fine. While you do that. Hello, world. This message was brought to you by Tre Stewart Productions. It's not really Tre Stewart Productions. I don't know what the fuck this is. Whatever. I'm alone with no one beside me. I'm on the road with no one to guide me. I'm just gonna let you know how I was on this bitch. That's incense. You'll be known. This is the coolest looking motherfucker on the planet. Even your shit swung out the way to give you a good angle. I'm so sick of you. So fucking cool, bro.
Look,
you're so cool. But no, so listen, I'm still gonna let you know. So there were two things. I had two jobs that I thought did a good job in elevating me in terms of like grandiose awesomeness, right?
okay.
Guys, I ended up working with an amazing group of guys who wanted to they wanted to put out the greatest game possible. And they were putting out 80-hour weeks and not getting paid. And management was so bad at their job and so bad at doing it and so believing in themselves more than the talent they hired. They shipped the worst fucking game ever imaginable. And it hurt so many different people. But it's the thing about it is no matter how good you were, no matter how invested you were to a cause or a company, if your leadership is shit, the product is doomed to fail. And so I've been that way to where if I don't trust the leadership, I don't trust the company, and I can't speak on it, I got to leave because that's that. Lamar being the next company that I work for possibly made me the worst employee of all time, right?
Wow.
Best, but worst. Remember this. So your break room sessions, right?
Yeah.
So we go to the break rooms and we chill and we crack jokes. Again, I love Blair, but she didn't have no part of a filter. She was a cancer cigarette. Just all the she gave you all the tar in the fucking comment.
I love Blair.
So just to backtrack, Energize was the only video game company in the fucking area. There wasn't in Texas. The closest one was in Florida, and one no remote. So I would have to move. But everybody, like EA, you want to get in, you had to earn it to go on that bitch, right? So I'm in there making the most money I've ever made in my life. I never thought I'd make that much money, right? And it wasn't. Today we're not looking at it, but like, all right. So,
well, let's talk about the times that it was then. Yeah. That's a lot of money. Yeah.
So, like in 2007, 2008, they gave me a salary of $65,000, and I'm like. Dog, and
in a Baton Rouge market.
Baton Rouge market. And then I had a hood chick who had me working in assisted living, who had me in one of those, what's assisted living? What do you call those little joints where like you're paying like $800 for like a townhouse?
Oh yeah, that's assisted living. You was on Section 8.
It was a beautiful ass place. I said, man, so I bought it out. And then money dries up. They 6 checks behind. I got to move back in with my people. I ain't got no job. I'm substitute teaching. Get a
how many checks they went behind?
6.
6 checks.
And they disappeared. Nick, listen, that 6. Look, here you go. At some point, once you get 6, you got them 6 checks are equivalent to how many feet I'm burying you when I find you.
That's absolutely true too. Like
And I was
actually, you got there probably on check too. I'm gonna be honest with you. All it would take me to check.
Yeah. Listen, and so I'm like, and so the funny thing about it, like, it's coming. So you're just hanging in there. You're just going to check. Just like, man, I don't want to get there, and I don't want to leave, and they pay, and I don't have no money. They're like, no, it's coming. The funniest shit. I remember being in there. Now, like they were the first time I watched Scammers live and realized I don't have a conscience, because they brought an investor in there to see the layout of the land. And he started doing shit, and they did it twice. First time we ain't know better. Second time we was on there. So first time they brought an investor in there, and he started looking around. It was like, "Oh, yeah, I see your project. We can make this work. We can do anything." And we asked, and so they were talking about taking over some of the debt and went through. It was like, "All right, cool. So who's gonna help us with our who's gonna help us with the back pay?" He goes, "Back pay? Oh yeah, she told me y'all got some got a little debt. How much she owe y'all?" And we go, "She bought it." They say we're about 4 checks behind. And he go,
He had to catch it. He was trying to clean off his suit. He was trying to
flushing the tie. He go, but about how many of y'all is it? As he's trying to count him, he's man. And we're talking about it, and we're like, yeah, and we're due one tomorrow. So 5. The
lost that investor.
Boy, immediately he couldn't get out of there. At least leave. Second time when they decided to come in and scam somebody, we didn't say shit. And she knew better. Don't meet the team. You meet the same. No, you meet y'all. We had to work.
You're gonna meet the 2 people you've been talking to this entire time. You ain't meeting nobody other than that.
Nobody else. And I was like, smart move. So now, shit that I'm gonna fast forward is so from there, I was like, you got all this talent, all these people, all these invested. You can't get the lights on. You can't do anything. You keep changing the product, so we can't get nothing out the door. So from there, I learned, and what we learned is like, you know what? No matter how good the people are, and it was fantastic people that I'm still friends with to this day. I learned that you cannot put your coworkers or the relationship you have over management, because if manager's trash, they're going to make sure that everything you do fails. So they're gonna you're never gonna see prosper, because all the good faith that you do, it's like I'm doing all the prep work, but my chef, but the master chef is drunk off Henny, and he keeps talking about buffalo wings. It's like, sir,
and he keep throwing salt, and he think it's shit.
Yeah, sir. We prepped we let the filet mignon. Good. Hey, you got any Heinz steak sauce? And so that's what they were doing. It's like they were like, bro, why you adding ketchup to a fillet, bro? What you
it's already a fillet.
Yeah. So I leave there. I do substitute teaching for a while. So I went from 65 to 18. I ended up at Lamar, and Lamar, they bring me in on entry level, because I ain't had print experience before outside of Flyers. So it was like, cool. So they brought me in. All right, cool.
Can I just sidebar on the print experience and the digital experience? It's still, you're still making it in the same software. It's just coming out a different thing.
Listen, they were just like, first and foremost, they gave me a job, and I was like, all right, cool, I got a job. So I'm like, yay. And so they were like, all right, cool. Went from making like 18 for the year to they're like 32. And so I was like, I can breathe. I still am living with my parents, but I'm living with my parents, and I can afford gas. Okay, which is a different feeling when you out here like, hey, look, you want to fuck, you got to pick me up. Like that's.
And think about this. Currently, like we were in the garage, bro. We was working on eventcorner.com.
Mm-hmm.
We was working on
Event Corner, Louisiana Social.
We was on the Louisiana Social at that time.
Yeah, we were doing a lot of shit in that garage. But and the funny thing about it was like, it was trying to get stuff off the ground. I was like, man, so I get there. So I'm so complacent. I'm happy. I got a job. I'm sitting there chilling, relaxing. And just, I'm here. I'm like, you know what? I'm easy. They talking about long-term strategy. They got vision for me for the future. I can make it. I say, all right, cool. I can do this. My next step is to know enough of the inner workings to become a manager. Yeah, it's me, Shannon, and whoever else the chick is, like, and Casey and all them. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get this good as them and whatever. Man, your fucking break room session, Blair motherfucking ass. Go, come on.
Tell him how Blair blew it up.
So I'm in that bitch, just like trying to contemplate. I remember feeling high because I was like, I guess got a couple different checks and shit, checking shit. You know what I'm saying? With the Subway, got the little $5. Remember we used to get the little $5 deal, $5 foot long and shit. So we got that shit with the meal. You know what I'm saying? $7.50 with the meal or something like that with the meal and shit. Yep. Like coming back. And he pissed her off or something to the point she was just like, look at Mark over there. Dumb looking ass. And he was just goofy looking ass. And look over to see Mark fucking with the coffee machine. Lean over, goofy looking ass. Indeed, yes. That's why I can't be here. Everyone's out here trying to be here, be a lifer here. I never could. There's no ceiling. I'm in this bitch. What do you mean? There's no ceiling. What happened here? He goes, look, just look at him over there, goofy. How much do you think he makes a year? He probably makes 75. That's your cap. That ain't no money. He 2.5 me. I'm not there. I'm trying. He ain't making no money.
Wait. He 2.5 you.
I'm 30,000. Shut the fuck up. My heart is like he ain't making no money. And you think about it. Look at Casey. Look at such. And you know I ain't making no money. And so Mark ain't going nowhere. He got it good, so he's not going anywhere. So you got to settle for this, and they're not making any money. And so you're gonna be doing this your life. You're gonna be like this and such. And she pointed to the lady who was just like pretty much. I don't know a good way of saying this. Remember, the lady like she
just leave it to the imagination, bro.
This is imagination because I got to be descriptive. She had enough energy in her body to make it from the car to the chair, from the chair to the break room, from the break room back to the chair, and she had assisted devices to keep her moving. Add those things. It's like she can't go nowhere. She here for the rest of her life. You want to be that? And I'm in this bitch like I'm having anxiety. I'm panicking. I'm like, oh bitch, I just spent my last fucking weeks trying to figure out how am I gonna climb the ranks. And I was like,
I just sat down and made a plan.
I had like my years planned out. 2 years is this? I can work my way up. Then
then once the portfolio get right, you know what I'm saying? Come to them and be like, look what I did.
Right. If I can kind of color with them, they'll take me under my wing. You know what I'm saying? Mark can kind of show me something. I'll buddy up with him. Shit, by year 8, I might be able to get a piece of cake. Like I was just like, and she was just like, you ain't gonna make no money. I was like, fuck. And then they put me on probation behind that fucking ugly ass billboard that I had nothing to do. It's like, and I was just like, I was like, you know what this? I'm at risk of getting terminated at a fucking what do you call it? I'm at a dead end. I'm at dead end, and she just broke me down. I just broke like that.
She broke you that day. Like
no,
that.
I went I went to sleep with visions of her calling me a broke bitch, bro. Visions of broke.
That's not necessarily. It's not necessarily.
Imagine like a 4 foot white girl in your dreams. I don't want no scrubs. Somebody can get nothing from me.
And Blair would dance like that too.
Yeah. That's just Imagine y'all come up. And just trying to. Yeah, I'm like, all right.
Hey, look, we've all like you gotta understand. I've had that conversation. You know, Blair, Casey, who else told me? They're like, bro, you too fucking talented to be here. What are you doing?
And so, but just think about that shit. And so I'm dealing with that shit, and then they go, and so they put me on probation because the ad rep was just like couldn't fucking like, bro. Can I speak to the person to find out what is the problem with this design? Its design is cool. Let me give them a better idea. Let me give them some alternatives. No, I don't want you to give alternatives. They know what they want. I know what they want. It's my client. All right, cool. What do your client want? They want a Jeep busting through a billboard, but rainbow. You mean rainbow tint, like purple with little colors in? No,
The color.
Rainbow. A fucking Wrangler.
Like
starts with pink,
right?
blue, yellow, red, green, shit. And they just wanted it, and then they wanted it dirty.
They want mud on it too, like actual, like.
Yeah, and they were like, we want this, and then so I kept sending it, and I was like, this is like shit. I was like, I know, I can help you, and so I did alternative versions, and they never sent it, and so they were like, all right, cool, bet. And then this shit takes on for like 2 months, and they're like, all right, cool. I'm like, and I warned this nigga like second weekend, like, dog, this shit is bullshit. Pull me in. I was like, listen, remember we had this conversation. Here's the emails. Here's the track record. Yeah, I see you. I understand. Yeah. So we're gonna have to put you on 3 months probation. I'm sorry, I don't think I heard. Here's the email.
Excuse me, say what?
Yeah, here's the emails. Here's what we talked about. The thing. Remember the thing we talked about? Mark, this is going downhill. Intervene, and you were like, don't worry about it. This happened. Yeah. 3 months probation. I was out of there in a month and a half. I was like, all right, I'm out. I was gone. I was like, I'm out.
Halfway through probation.
I was like,
hey, no. Tell them the truth. When did you go home and update your portfolio? Tell them when you went home and updated your portfolio.
Listen, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. All right, I went home and updated my portfolio that night. I started working on my portfolio literally after that meeting. I was at my fucking desk doing layouts and figuring out shit. I was like, all right, suck my dick. I was gone immediately. He couldn't get out of there fast enough. And then when I went to leave and turn in my 2-week resignation, hey man, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. You're leaving us a little short-staffed, a little short-handed, man. You know, we'll make it figure out. You sure this is some shit you want to do? Look at here, Goofy. Yes, I'm this bitch. I'm gone. I'm
if I could say yes in 7 languages, I would.
Hey, listen, if I had planned this, but I'd have pissed on your goddamn desk. You know what I'm saying? Like if I knew what Facebook was gonna show me, I took a shit on this thing.
Oh yeah. Now we gotta think about this. Like you gotta understand, I was there at the same time, but I was in a different role. I had already figured out how to be the Swiss Army knife at the place. Like I knew how to jump in and out, like be a liaison between printing, maybe cap and then pre-press and color management. Then I got in the workflow. I knew how to do that, and it came out to my benefit a little bit because when Circle came in and bought that side, they did whatever. I had a chance to make a decision. Everybody else was just acquired except me. I had to make a choice. So literally in that negotiation, I negotiated my freedom. So I went from being an hourly to salary, and I didn't have a schedule. And I boosted I went from, I was making 30, I went to like 36, 37.
Freedom.
And I was like, now understand, I was like, that's what, 2011, 2012?
You were there that long? Oh,
well, that's when the transition happened. That's when I went over to Circle.
Okay.
And that's when I became because they made me a director too, like a color management and pre-press for the South plant. So
yeah, I forget they were loving you at some point. They're like, you want to do comedy on the clock? Fine with it. Just don't leave. Yeah. Fine with it.
Circle was the first company to allow me, one of the first. I'm gonna tell you about the other one, but one of the first companies to know that I can do my work not in the hourly time you think it needs to be done, because you still need me for out of hourly things. Like you can't call me on the weekend and think you're gonna have me for 8 hours locked up during the week.
Oh no.
No, that's not gonna work. So I negotiated that freedom. Now the bad part is later on in that contract, like when the guys that I negotiated with were ousted from the company and new people came in, they was like, hey, Howard, we're gonna need you to stay. And I was like, well, you're gonna have to recoup about how much? About $7 an hour. You have to add that to what I'm doing because that's what I negotiate. Like, if I don't have the freedom, you got to pay for my time.
Look at you, Mr. Demand, Mr. Demand shit. Listen,
But then what did they offer, bro? What did they offer? Nothing. Like they were in the midst of changes. We was changing what do you call it, directors or whatever, and we was buying plants. I remember they flew me out to I got flued out.
Oh, I remember these things.
Yeah, flew out to Boston to go literally like revamp their whole workflow and all that. I remember I was up there for a week. Boston was freezing then, and it was wet. And I was just
I just want I want to make sure I understand this. Are you telling me they flew a black man out to Boston in the winter?
Yeah,
I think I'm gonna actually put that on you. I'm actually gonna say you should have saw that sign on the door. It was like, listen here, Wes Welker.
Hey, can I tell
I don't know. I don't know any other black people in that Terrell, not Terrell. Was it Jerry? Yeah, Terrell Owens. No, Randy Moss. There you go. Randy Moss. I don't know how many. Like, I'm pretty sure there's black people who play for them, but fuck it. Wes Welker made it.
It doesn't matter. Wes Welker's still better.
Oh,
bro,
shit.
That shit was so cold. Like just to talking to their employees, and I'm up there like showing them new ways of like you know how you feel like you coming in, you taking a job, you know how to, like I was like, bro, I'm not here for that. Look at me, I'm really not here for that. Like,
yeah, it's too cold. I promise you, I'm never gonna be back here. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I went, bro. And then to find out after I go up there and get all that set up and told the CFO or whoever, and like, hey, this is what they need to do. Here's the process that need to be placed, and they'll be fine, right? They end up selling that whole company. I was like, bro, so you shut down the whole plant, boss?
For what? Why? For fun?
Oh, it's some proprietary stuff I can't say, but like, you know, some stuff like I can't put out there. But let's just say, in terms, it was a shit show.
Okay. Listen, so I'll say this. I'm glad you have left that community, that village, that napalm ass situation, and you're on Horizon. Yeah. Welcome to UI Design La Familia, Figma Function. We had this thing when black people use Figma. It's called Enigma. No, it's not a joke. In fact, I got to check this out. Hang on.
I'm not even gonna comment. I'm not even gonna comment.
Oh, good. We changed it. It was originally Enigma.com, which now directs you, instead of it takes you to your Figma file, it directs you to a Derek Chauvin trial update.
Really?
The dogs. But yeah. There's a time we were out here. So yes, as a member of Enigma, you should realize now comes with great power, comes with great responsibility. And so, yeah, now you are transitioned to a product designer. I think you should know you are built for this because you, as a father, have listened to people whine and complain. The difference is Cassidy is probably going to make way more rational sense than some of the people that you will be listening to. And wow. I say that with all the compassion that I have for the people that tend to try to give you advice, and I say that. So let me back this up.
Yeah, could you? Because I'm still at Enigma. I'm still there.
Okay, so
it could have been so many other things. It could have been so many other things, right? It could have been so many other things. Like it could have been Bigma, like you know what I'm saying, like with the B.
No, we had a logo and everything. We had a logo and everything.
I had a logo for Enigma.
Yeah. It's Figma. It was basically Figma with the African colors. Yeah. In fact, this had an N. There was an N. I did the logo. I did it myself. took the F, made it an N, Enigma. Yeah, listen, come on, black of the black, because I'm black, y'all. Our very first thing that we did. So Clubhouse had a Lion King performance, and our very first thing that we did was a tribute to RIP the homie Mufasa, and your boiler me.
Keep
Please
going.
let me add this.
No, this needs to be.
Listen, your boiler me had made a Mufasa what you call it, pamphlet, what do you call those joint programs?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so it's Mufasa with the wings, you know what I'm saying, going home. Mufasa's Leroy Jenkins.
Did they have sunrise at a day and a sunset?
But listen,
Right.
let me see if I can find
God,
it.
I should be designing this fucking flyer. Why am I not?
Let me see if bro, we were wild. Let me see. All right, bet. Oh, we still.
What's up?
They've since changed. They've since removed. Oh wait, is it remote funeral? No. These.
They removed them all.
Yeah, their design challenge things. I'm so mad at this. I'm not even gonna share it with you. I'm so disgusted. They got. Wait, hang on.
You should share it with me. I need to see it.
No, I'm letting you know if I can find. They got. I gotta find it. When I find it, I give it back to you. Damn it, man! It's not in my recent. And I was like, all right, if I find it, I can find it. I couldn't find it. Those bastardos. Yeah. So anyway, back to this. So welcome to the product design world. I'll be honest with you. Very first and foremost, money's a little bit different.
You told me money is truly different.
Money's different. Responsibilities are different. You'll need to do a little bit less, but a little bit more. Learn more. Read more. Move pixels once every 4 days. You can move pixels once every 4 days.
Got to push some pixels, man. You already know. 4 at a time.
Yeah, but you got to decide which pixels to move. Move the pixels 4 pixels to the right. Do some testing. All right, I was wrong. Put it back and do something else for another week. Figure out where we're gonna go. But I like it. I like it. I feel like you don't. Here's the thing. I'm listening to this right now. You are going to. So I'm sorry because I keep forgetting other people who are still getting the hang of it. So
also, yeah,
you're transitioning from print design to UI and to UI and more so product design, right?
Yeah.
So there's some stuff that I'll make sure that you are kind of caught up on. We'll do some design thinking stuff. We'll do some learn some research, do some of the bare bone basics, in terms of
because you're gonna take me through like even UX principles into it, like all that. Like
so here's the thing: it's UX principles. You're gonna have to. Well, you don't have to decide, but it makes it easier if you want to. So because you have a visual background, so let's say you already UI focused, right? And so there's research, UX, UI, and UX is kind of broken into. I don't like to consider UX research because I feel like research is actual just research, is quantitative data. UX is what you do with the data, and you try to create the experience. And UI is more so the polish and the cleaning and make it and polish and put together of it. The thing that I have with the problem with this is I feel like that you need to learn how to do all of them, but not every company. Every company believes that you should do those. That you should do everything in those in that. And so I'll say this: there are some companies that separate UX and then separate UI, and also separate research, right? Some
Right.
companies don't understand. Some people say UX is the blueprints and the wireframes. Some people think that UI is blueprint is the wireframe and the UI, and then UX is research and flow, right?
Right.
And so I'll speak about me as a product designer and why I feel like all three of them are all three, and why it's cool to have it's cool to be versed in one, right?
Right.
So not versed in one. Why it's cool to be strong in one,
But versed in all of them. I got
yes. And so you already have a business background, and part of that is going to be you're going to need that to be a product designer. So let's back up, right?
All right.
Product designers are generalists. They know how to do the business side. They understand how to speak to stakeholders. They know how to do the pitch, how to do the presentation, know how to handle research, know how to design, how to do the flow, how to do everything from concept, prototyping, testing, interviewing, all the way to the prototyping, design, delivery, all those things.
Yeah.
Can they do all of those at a high level? Some people, but on average, no.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody tends to look down on product designers, but the thing about it is you look at design like athletes. Product designers are NBA players. NBA players are MLB players, right? Not MLB, NHL.
Geez. You got hockey? Wow.
Yeah. And so, because here's the thing, you're on the court and you have to go both ways. You have to do everything. You can't just be like, I'm gonna be on defense and I'm not going to. You're gonna have to touch the rock at some point, right? Even if it's to handle the pass. You know what I'm saying? I look at NBA as a good thing, is because the better ones can play defense, can shoot, got to know the game, got to do all these things. At some companies will be like football, very, very specific. You have football players, wide receivers. They don't get on the other side of the ball, right? Mm-hmm. And so when you think when you think about UI specific people, UX specific people, research specific people, that's football. The problem with that is, quarterback, wide receiver, running back, cool. They don't get paid the same. They don't get paid the same. UI technically gets paid way more than UX, and who gets paid more than researcher. And it's very weird because researchers get paid less, and they're technically some of the most important people, right?
Yeah, without the data, how could you do the others?
Yeah, it's validity. How do we know if we're on the right path? How do we test it, right? So at any point, to me, if I've witnessed people who are UI heavy and they knew how to do UI and UI only, never understood how their work went out. They don't understand how this shit's come from. They don't know how one screen goes to the next, and so they never were able to catch these decisions until until it went live. They had UX people that had idea UX that couldn't really design, and so they passed the shit off, and then they just were done. They never saw it again, and it just went down the pipeline. Research is just like, tell me what you want to test, and then usually by the time it got to the UI guy, researcher was out of the picture. And in a lot of situations, you find that the UI guy had more power than the UX guy. That the UX guy couldn't even tell. Like the UI guy was like, you know what? I'm gonna move this button here because I said so. It looks better here. The layout is better. Man, do you want to show you want to put? Yeah, I'm doing it. And so it's these pockets. Like no one, like they didn't work together in the same atmosphere or the same thing. Versus a product designer is the equivalent of, they call them T-shaped, right? And so you have these various skills. Really and truly, it's supposed to be an X, because it's UX. So the T-shape is research, design. Well, just no research, design, and UX. There's business.
It looked like you just made the cross. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Because business is up here. That's what I say it's an X. I mean, we can go. You're right. It's Jesus.
Yeah, that's what you did. You did.
I did the X. Boy, listen, this trying to do it in the camera whooping my ass. But yeah, so let's try this again. You got UX, UI, research, business, right?
All right.
You need business because you got to know what's the goal, what's the motivation, what's the driving force, how is this going to get funded, how is it going to be whatever, right? You need to know. A lot of times, research is going to tell you what this is. You got to research. You got to talk to. You got to interview business. You got to interview stakeholders, right? You have to interview customers. You got to learn what they're, and you need to be on the ground for that. You might not have to be the one who does the research, but you need to be able to ask questions and also be a part of that process, understand the value of that process. If that's where you're long at, then you are the one who's driving the research, but driving the research and also knowing the business side in terms of what are they trying to solve and how to ask that question, right? Mm-hmm. And so then you got UX, which is all right. We got the driving factors. We got the business goals. We got the UX goals. We have all the components. Not all the components. We have all the requirements. Have all the data. We know what it is that we're going to drive for, right? The how might we's, the whatever. Now you need to start figuring out the driving force, figuring out the service, figuring out what it is that you're going to build and how do you build it.
Right.
So, hey, once you have, and let's say there's a good bit of middle of this, but you decide that, all right, we decided that this is the product that we're going to build. This is the platform. This is the path that we're going to do. You've talked to dev and you figured out they worked out their logistics, and so you build out your flow. You fill out your story. You fill out what you're going to do. Then you have to design it. Then you have to actually make it good, make it look nice, and then you have to test it. Now, mind you, you're not going to be Michael Jordan and all these things. And sidebar, even if we use Michael Jordan and LeBron, they're excellent at defense and offense, but they're not the best shooter that ever happened. They're not the best three-point shooter. They're not the best dunker. They're not the best defender. They're not everything that ever existed. They're very good at all those things, and they can do all those things. But there's somebody else who can probably do it better especially even on that thing. And to that point, it's like when they look at product designers and like, well, you can't do all this stuff amazing. No, but I probably can do 2 or 3 of them better than you can. And I can also let you do that one thing that you're good at. And we can collab in the middle. And that's the shit where we're coming. It's like product designers aren't as much just generalists. It's I'm good at what it needs me to be. If it needs me to focus on these things, then I'll focus on these. But I'm not a commentist. It's like I'm a role player, but I can be better at whatever you need to be. It's like Kawhi Leonard. It's like he wasn't a scorer when he came into the league.
No.
But he needed to be a scorer. Yeah. But he wanted to be a scorer, but he wanted to work on it, so he did that. You want to be Ben Simmons, fine. Be the greatest defender, passer ever. It would be great if you would dunk it twice.
Ben Simmons is not out of his situation yet, and that's just cold. He's still trying to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? He didn't do a Schroeder. He could have pulled the Schroeder.
Here's the thing. The funny part about Ben Simmons that he just got the extension. They paid that motherfucker
They did pay. He did.
So they gotta eat that. That motherfucker back down from Trey fucking Young. Man, if you don't get your goddamn NBA 2K highlight,
Young Trey was cooking that series, bro.
Listen, how tall is Ben Simmons?
You right.
Trey Young.
You right.
Boy, if I want you to know, he's already going bald. I'll tell you, he would have stretched himself out on that highlight reel. I'd have ducked his ass to dust. Just go like you know, like like I'd have saw him, I'd been, oh, man, it's about to be a murder. Like I would have went harder. Like he came to the rim. He didn't run, he came. And the funny thing is he saw the bitch in his heart. He saw the bitch in his heart.
Well, you come on, bro. Like Trey had been already eating up the playoffs by then, so he already had a swag on it, bro. So you can't do that.
I'd have got that smell off him.
Look, to bring back the topic. So basically, you could be like product designers are a good all around player.
Yeah.
But whatever is almost like whatever the team needs, they're gonna give that to you. So like if it's rebounds, I'll get your rebounds today. All right. If you want me to score, I can score too. You know what I'm saying? So like that's what I was thinking. I was thinking about like, all right, cool. So product design is almost like a Swiss Army knife. But he got 3 sharp blades, like he got 3 utensils that he can use all the time. But one of them may be used more than other in certain projects or in certain products that you create.
Yeah, so it's T-shape. Well, yeah, TX, how you look at it, or lowercase T-shape. And to the point of say, I look at you, right? You have business acumen, and so when you sit down and you talk to the business, you talk to the stakeholders to be able to know this is what I'm going to this is what we're trying to accomplish. This is what you are looking for us to answer, to solve, right? We're looking to get a return on. We're trying to solve for. We have a problem where, example, if you are Best Buy and for some strange reason Geek Squad is like you want to get better exposure, the numbers of Geek Squad is down.
It's down.
And so it's like, all right, it's down. It's like, yeah, we want to increase. We want to increase. We found out that we're like people aren't going to Geek Squad, and so all right, cool. So we probe, and you find us like, all right, well, when they go to the website, like they start a session, then they never finish. All right, cool. So is the question or is the goal, like, do you want us to kind of increase turnover, or you want us to increase conversion? Do you want more people to flow through? But in this situation, it seems like you're having an issue with people. People are getting there. That's not a problem. They're not finishing. So now we need to explore why they aren't
complete.
Yeah. And so business is all right, cool. We talk to business, we find out some pain points, we do that. Then we go look at then we kind of look in to see how many numbers is happening. Kind of go through the experience ourselves, do a walk a mile, see our customers go through this, go there, ask the people questions, or do whatever. Get an idea of it. And then from there, depending on what you find, you decide like, all right, cool. You find out, is this a bug? Is it some technical? Which sometimes it is. And then sometimes it's a thing to where you find out that the drivers or the intended actions aren't what's happening, and you might have built a block, or you might have put something in the way, or something that say different. And so it's to answer all these questions, and then there it could be we redesign the flow. We put
another story. Like you put another story that we leads a different way.
Yeah, and so the weird part about it is because you're a designer, you kind of get to the. Sorry, I got the standing desk chair. And this motherfucker is moving me, throwing me all over the place.
I saw that. Look, when I tell you, hey, what's hey.
I'm making myself dizzy. But so that's the weird part about it. It's like you gotta be able to be in tune to hear that shit from the jump, to know what that is. But then also it's like you're watching the shit, you're thinking, you don't necessarily solve it, but you need to be able to understand shit from a designer perspective. Like, oh man, I see. Like you get there and you're like, oh shit. First thing I notice is, your buttons, your buttons are very confusing. Your shit is very confusing. Your process is too long. It's like I'm 20 pages in. Why the fuck is it 20 pages? And it could be any of these things. And so you have to go through a bunch of different hats to put this on. You a UX person, you're a UI person, you're a researcher person, and to have knowledge of all those means you're sitting there listening from all these different fronts, and there you can decide which hat you need to put on to solve this thing. But also, if you are working with other product designers, All right, cool. I'm a UI, like me specifically, I am a UX UI focused product designer with understanding in business and research. But if you had to put me, it's UI UX, UI UX business and research, like in those order. And so if I find somebody else who's heavier in research or better suited for business to do like the documentation, hey, y'all do that shit. Let me go. Hey, look, y'all do the research, y'all do the sunset. I'll handle the UI, handle the wireframing, the flow, and then we'll come back. Somebody else actually is charged with the testing, and then I can sit there in the session where I become from Batman and Robin. So to your point, in order to do all those things, you kind of got to get used to seeing how you already do these things, but how to do them in the product design space.
Right.
To your point,
and to be honest, isn't the bridge, like you have been doing these things, but you might not be using the same terminology, like, so it might be a terminology break in what you're using. Like you might be using certain keywords that like may make sense when you are a business person and you talk to a client, but like once you're in the product design world, you should be using certain terms, certain words that mean a certain thing. Now we talked about when people make their own terminology. Now we talked about that off the air.
I do that shit often, but no. So I'll say this, right? So the biggest shift that you are going to find so this is the one thing I want to just kind of lay the land out, right?
All right.
You've been doing all this stuff your whole career. The stuff that you've been doing, it's been the same thing. What's different is they changed the title up, they changed the terminology up, they changed they move the requirements, and they create this kind of void to kind of keep shifting the goalposts. Right. I've been a product designer all my life, all my career. The title in which that I've done these things has changed. So let me phrase this. I've done everything that I've done my entire career. They just shifted the title. It was web designer, web developer, product design. I mean, a UX UI artist, UX UI designer, UX and UI designer, and then product designer, which encompasses all these things. And every facet, I've done all these different things. Only difference is I also did development. And so now there's a thing for developers who can design. And so it's just like they keep trying to do this, but you've been doing these for a while. And to the point I say, there's never a time where you have started a project without interviewing someone. Where you've never captured the goals, right? What are you looking to do? What are you looking to attain? Well, how are you looking to do this? You spoke to the stakeholders. You've done the research to where you go and you see what the market. You've done market research. You've done competitive analysis. You've done these things. The hardest part is learning the terminology they use and the methods in which they do this and the tools in which they've do this, right? You've done it in Photoshop. You've done it guerrilla style, but you've never had to do it in the fashions that they want. There's this thing called design thinking. You're gonna learn what design thinking is. You're gonna get used to facilitating. Batman and Robin is what they use to do. Sometimes you lead, sometimes you follow. You'll get the hang of that. You'll learn how to use Figma just because I like to use Figma. If you want to use some other tools, feel free to do it on your own time, Buster.
Hey, look, tools, we already know how to use it. Like,
it's gonna change because again, 2 years ago was Sketch, now it's Figma. Some people do XD, whatever.
XD,
so you got that. So you got that side of it. You know that there's you're gonna have to figure out the mapping of it, and I think that's gonna be the research and the UX is gonna be where a bulk of your time and your strategy comes through. Just because we were always more guerrilla, more Rain Man. You see it in your head. And so it's like someone talk, like I remember like draw a box. All right, cool. I know the rest, and then go. And somebody like, dude, he drew a stick man. No, I do my math plan. I got it all. Look,
I got it all right now.
And I'm like, dog, this this is a fucking Wheaties box. No, trust me. And then she put together like, what the fuck? And then so it's like you got to show your work. You have to validate, and you have to build this map so that the development can go and build out the bones for you to design. And so it's some changes that you'll come out with. I'll tell you this: the dopest part about what you're going to go embark now is the dollar value that it costs you to start your own design agency versus the dollar value that it'll start your own print agency. It'll blow your fucking mind. You already got everything you need already. You got a laptop and access to the internet. You don't need a printer. You don't need servers. You don't need none of that shit. You know, eventually, if you want to get into it, you can hire, not hire, but if you need to use developers, that's fine. The person the person is somebody else's job to pay that developer to do something. But it's a beautiful world. I remember that shit, trying to. You remember Earl? Do you know Earl Austin? You remember Earl?
I remember Earl. Yeah.
Man, I remember Earl convinced somebody to pay for a printer to start his business.
I remember that.
That printer was fucking expensive. I remember $40,000, $60,000.
It was close to like 50. I believe.
Yeah, and that thing was shit. It was printing out the most garbage of paper quality was trash, print quality was trash.
After that purchase, all materials, bro, was cheap as hell, bro. Like you got to go cheap.
Yeah, but so the thing about it is, but listen, that was right around 50,000-60,000 entry level for print. And I was like, man, I want to learn how to do this. And I was like, and at the time he was like $35 a flyer.
It was.
I can't do. And so he was like, yeah, I had to get it invested because I couldn't afford to buy this shit myself. And so I was like, man, listen. And I was doing the math. I was like $50,000 for science. And then you got to.
Let me get my paper together. Multiply how many flyers I got to do.
Yeah, and I was getting like maybe 4 clients a week, maybe anything to nigga. How you plan on paying this shit off? How you plan on paying?
Never.
I don't know they ain't recoup. I know they ain't recoup. Because I was like,
I'm gonna tell you what he did. He transferred to started using that printer to do T-shirts. He was cutting out vinyl. He made some money doing T-shirts.
Yeah, but I was like, man, the money. I was like, the cost overhead up of that shit. And I remember doing the math.
It's nuts.
And listen, so around that time, I was getting into graphic. I'm never gonna forget the time I called that guy and asked him, bro. So how much is y'all print? How much is y'all hosting? It was like $150 a year. Okay.
All right.
I need to fix a button. How much is we fixed, but in exchange we charge at least an hour, and it's $150 an hour. No, it's $150 an hour. We charge a minimum of 3 hours. And so I was like,
how can I be okay?
Yeah, and I was like, what, man? I googled hosting because I was like trying to host my own shit. That bitch say I can host. Yeah, I can get my own hosting for $25 a year for what they would charge. I said, whoa. But then if I wanted to get the business plan, it was $125 for like 10 times, and I could host like 20 sites.
You offer my site hosting.
But look, here's the thing. I had so much space, and I was just telling people, bro, fuck it, I'll host your shit for free just because I had the space.
Yeah,
I was like,
a shit ton.
I was like, look, Doc, I was like, hey, look, I was stinging people, bro. I was like, not even stinging, but I was like, listen, I give you a website. I give you a website. I'll give you one pager. I give you a template. It's $50. I do this, but you just gotta pay me. You gotta pay me for the hosting. $100 a year. Pay me for the hosting. I'm like, okay. And so I'm like, bro, I'm like, all right, cool. So I had like fucking.
You became a little server, bro. You weren't even doing this. You was doing it just to get the hosting prices, bro. That's brilliant.
Yeah, and so that shit was. So I was like, look, all I needed was one person. One person signed up. They paid for my hosting. Everything after that was lame. But I was like, this is fucking amazing. And I was like, I don't need And then I ain't gonna lie, I'll be honest with you. You had LimeWire at the time, so LimeWire and Ware stores. I had all the crack stuff.
Bro, do you remember Lime? I'm not even gonna open up nobody's paperwork on the internet like that. But we downloaded some things.
Listen, the fact that I know I'm a scumbag, you're like some things, and I was like, are we still talking about software?
We are talking about software, but I'm not about to incriminate myself on the internet like that.
Okay. Because I thought I don't know if you're talking about software or things to make your hardware.
Oh no.
I'm such an old man. This is things to make your hardware. That doesn't even make any fucking sense, Dad. Don't worry about it. You got it. Yeah. No, I remember going through, but here's the thing. There was a point in time, like I remember downloading Adobe, and then my computer got the holy fucking ghost. That got the Harlem shaking, telling me you need to call this number to get this shit out of your.
I remember us trying to add a photo to the website. We was trying to change the banner, bro. And when I tell you the bandwidth, bro, we was so slow, sir. It was so slow. We would load it and we would be sitting here like this. It's coming. Just give us a second. Just waiting on this thing to load. Come on, load.
I forget we grew up in an era where, like, man, you want to watch a movie trailer, you had to go to sleep. You had to go figure out some shit to do.
You see that in the morning.
Download time 4 hours. You want to download 2? You want to browse the internet too? Ooh, bitch, you must think you fancy. You know, the fuck? All right. Yeah.
You know what's crazy? What's crazy is that like they were getting mad that like kids was downloading software so they can create things.
Mm-hmm. You know what? I had an epiphany. Today, of all things. Everyone understands this. LimeWire, Napster. I say LimeWire because LimeWire is software. That changed the game for me. Napster usually didn't necessarily change, but I mean,
Napster was more music.
Yeah.
Heavy. Yeah. But LimeWire was social, like software.
That software movies all changed the game, especially Pirate Bay. But so here's the thing. You get iPads and you get iPods because of Napster, but because of LimeWire and these things, you get a lot of cloud-based services and solutions that change the game up. So, like example, this is some shit that I thought about right now when I was trying to explain to somebody how design has changed, and it's easier for people to get into design, but more difficult. They created a more difficult barrier for you to get a job, if you should say.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So this was when I realized I was like, when we came in, to be a designer, you need to learn how to use pretty much Illustrator and Macromedia, and then there was Quartz, right?
Quartz, yeah.
These were like $1,000 software. These were things to where you had to take a loan out to get.
And look,
right?
don't forget Corel.
Right. So you had to take a loan out, or your company had to buy these things, right? Yeah. And so the only way we could get it was we had to get these the hacks. We had to get them.
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Yeah. And so so the cracks and the keys, that shit wasn't happening before for me for the internet. You wanted this, you had to steal, motherfucker. And they ain't have no Photoshop at the front. And so
and look, the bootleg man wasn't bootlegging Photoshop, bro.
No, you want Martin specials? Yes. You want Corel? Be Corel.
Watch Bruce Willis movie?
Right. So you have these things to where it's like, bro, I'm on that thing. I got all the new shit. You got a new Adobe? I got it. I got it. Download this. Yeah. And so then it was like once Adobe was like, you can download it You can download it instead of having to go buy it at the store. Change the game. I was like, I appreciate that. But then they started coming out with these hacks and cracks. And then eventually you led to them doing the cloud-based service model where you pay it monthly. Now, the thing that I appreciated about the monthly model is prior to that, even if you had to download it, you still had to come up with $700-800 to get the software.
Up front, especially if you wanted the discount. You remember, like, if you pay it all, you get this. Who has it all?
Yeah. And then you get it to now where now it's $50 a month for everything. But it only $20 if you just need Photoshop, which was what we were using at the time. Like, do you understand the number of entrepreneurs and people that we could have had if all I had to do was come up with $20 a month for the shit?
Bro, I was doing stand-up when I first started and making $50 a show. I could have paid for my Photoshop for 3 months, bro. Like I had like 2 shows, I'm done. Like I got almost a year done.
But not just that, all I needed to do to keep my shit active was basically a flyer. And it was like, all right, cool, pay for it. And everything after that was a bonus. But you could have got in there sooner. You could work and you could do more and you could actually play with it. A 30-day trial to learn how to do Photoshop, this fucking NASA spaceship ass console.
And look, on top of that, you got a regular ass life.
Mm-hmm. And so to that
internet went out like that, we couldn't be like doing this shit. We had to physically go out and go do shit.
Right. And the shit was just like this. At the time, you had Photoshop, but you ain't had no community. Who the fuck knew? You know what I'm saying? Like you had to come through and find out. Like you're like, oh, I do Photoshop. Oh, I do Photoshop too. Really?
Right.
You know, let me see. They had no portfolio.
Trey, this is the first time that people are probably even knowing that I do design, Trey.
I mean, that's because you're a funny ass dude. So people like, he do jokes as a living. You're like, all right,
that's true.
I do.
That's true.
That's
just one thing I'm great at. That's another thing I'm great at too.
Visual design. But like, I also need a 9 to 5 as well as a 5 to 9, sir. You know, I can help you. I can help now. If you would like to buy my DVD, that would help me. Oh no, exactly. This is why I have a 9 to 5.
This is why I have a 9 to 5, since you don't want to invest, motherfucker.
Right. Man, so my shit is like this. I mean, it's decades later, or like a decade later. Yeah, but they when they moved to the cloud model and the cloud and the business didn't fold, and then now you started seeing all the other things take on the cloud models. You have the monthly model, which I remember people hating the idea of a monthly model, but then it became more accessible. You know, and then now you fast forward to now, and I ain't gonna lie to you, that probably still leaves a sour taste in my mouth, but you fast forward to now where you have Figma, which is, they're like, dude, you can use our shit for free. Because they understand, in order to, like, you actually have to spend time to learn how to design, but also it's crack dealer. I'm gonna teach you how to do it, but I'm gonna teach you how to do it in my ecosystem.
Yeah.
And so now, because you know my ecosystem, you're never gonna leave, and it's what, and they ain't gonna lie to you. They do iterations. They do a lot more updates, a lot faster. I don't know what version Adobe is on, but I don't give a shit. Figma's like, man, we do this shit we do rollouts when we need the shit, whatever. You've already paid us. You just pay us monthly. We make sure that we keep the lights on. And I'm like, man, this shit is fantastic. And then so now, and they also built a community in. And so it's just like, I give shouts and give props to Napster and to LimeWire for creating kind of like the pressure and the chokehold that they had to come out to be a little bit different. They had to change their model. I am legal, because the price point so low to get into. I am legal, because I promise you, I'll be scamming if I had to come up with $1,000 again for this shit. And they got some software and some shit that's still $1,000. It's still like, it's not happening.
Yeah, like, I would not do it.
I don't know what the Final Cut interface looks like. I'm just not going to find out. It's foreign to me. You know what I'm saying? After Effects a lot familiar. Them niggas do payment plans. I'm sorry.
You gotta understand too. Like Adobe software, like alone, like all they did was like they tried to corner the multimedia race. If you know what I'm saying, like you're gonna be able, don't leave here because you can do everything you want right here.
Yes.
And they actually succeeded in that. Like people started like just thinking I needed the Adobe Suite to do everything I need, and they would go out there and get remember the whole Creative Suite where you was getting software you don't even use, like you never use.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I don't fuck with them. It's like they were always like, you need all these things. And I look, and then they became an a la carte, which is just not something I prefer to use. You know, like you got a la carte and whatever. It's like, listen, I guarantee you can come up with a better plan. But and that's kind of the shit why I like Figma. Figma just doesn't let me do what I want. And hold on, what the fuck is happening here? Yeah, all right, cool, whatever. No, but anyway, so like Figma lets me do what I want. It lets me go about my day. It's like, all right, cool, we'll let you do all this shit in one. You know what I'm saying? All right, cool. You want to be able to do video, you want to be able to do wireframing, got it. You want to do illustration, got it. You want to do print, and all right, cool. You want to do a flyer, got it. You need to do some special effects. Hey, you should probably see Photoshop, but we got you for some other shit. And it's like, yeah, like he's like, even back then, it's like you need Photoshop, you need PDF, you need Dreamweaver, you need all these different things to kind of to make all this stuff to do presentation work, right? Even with Sketch, it was you need Sketch, you need Envision, you need
so many things.
There's so much shit, bro. And it's just like,
but see, this is the thing. Like, tell me if you just like. I just want to know your opinion, and because here's mine. Like, when it comes to tools, because that's what we're talking about, right? Tools that looks delicious anyway. When it comes to tools, don't you?
Alcohol.
That's true. You're absolutely right. Don't you? Well, do you agree or disagree that like after learning so many of them, they kind of all work the same? You just need to know where they're located on the screen.
Listen, I'll say this. I don't want to be an advocate the way I'm an advocate. Figma actually teaches you how to. So the Figma was probably the first one that's made for designers and developers with designers and developers in mind, and made for an actual system. I'm probably going to get pushback from my developers in saying this, but I'm telling them shut up, eat a dick. I'm a developer. Well, to some extent. The
Photoshop. I just want to let you know that your shoulders are real disrespectful right now. They're real disrespectful on you. Like this part right here, your trap. I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
That's real disrespectful, bro. Like you was all about in the camera, like real aggressive with it. I didn't know.
This is like they came with shit talking. Yeah, no. So example. So here's the example, right? You are a developer and you're like, all right, I'm not a developer. You're a designer, right?
Right.
You use Photoshop and you use Photoshop in a way that's useful to you as a designer. But the way you design is nothing like the environment that is going to be used for. So much so that like you have designers who like you have a layer that have layer styles on a layer like Multiply, and they don't understand like Multiply doesn't export out as a PNG. As a PNG, that motherfucker is black, and you're like, oh, well,
it's gonna be that.
Yeah, and it's like, well, why this doesn't look like that? I'm like, yeah, it don't look like that. Like, you know, like it doesn't. That's not how this works, right?
Right.
But you also had it to the point where they have this layer, and it's all this very big ass area, right? And so Photoshop was built for a designer, and it was kind of like in a design framework. Figma was built like for designers, but it also created all these layers. And to be honest with you, it created a lot of bad habits. Bad habits and structure. Figma, the reason I appreciate it is it teaches you the better you organize, the better you are in terms of thinking about development. And in order to organize your files and to get the best layout and to get everything pixel perfect the way it is, you have to be strategic in how you organize these things, right? if you know what, like HTML, divs, everything is pretty much a div. The container is a div. In Figma, they have frames. And frames operate the same way as divs. Divs. So
okay.
you know, like the parent, all this shit. And so it's like when I'm building, I can structure this a lot closer to what it's going to look like in production than I have in everything else. And they do it intentionally so that it flows a lot more akin to what the developer will use. And the more you get used to like having your naming your conventions, file naming conventions when it comes to accessibility and testing and even like collaboration, like you can hop in that bitch and like now they got some shit where me and you can be in a file and me and you can turn on the voice note. We can chat as I'm designing. I can leave. You can already were able to leave notes.
I saw that out, man. I saw that was crazy.
Yeah, dog. Imagine, boy. Listen, I'm going to be the most unprofessional one day. I'm like, hello, this sucks, and just in a meeting, like, oh wow, this tree is just falling. But it's like, listen, you know, whatever. But the fact that you can
in the middle of a critique, middle of a critique.
Just, I think, you know what? I think this you should move it to the left. Hey man, this fucking sucks, bro. What the fuck are you doing?
Right, bro.
Look, hey, and you should if you know, I don't know if it'd be nice. I like where you were going here. If you move your hierarchy, what she said is boo.
Boo.
Yeah, that would be so great if I just mounted up like it'd be so great if you mounted up like a sound effect board to your shit, and it's just like all right, I like, and also you get the clouds and you get the kid. Boo. Yeah. I would, you know what?
Listen,
now
we're gonna talk about some horrible. Like, we're gonna talk about the horrible critiques, bro. You know that, right?
Some what?
I know we've been through the horrible critiques, like the critique sessions that we done been through. You know we got to talk about.
Oh,
we got to.
Here's the thing. For the longest. Here's the thing. I'm gonna leave with this.
Okay.
I never gave a fuck about critiques, because it's either I value your opinion or I don't. If I value your opinion, it was valuable feedback. Critique versus criticism. Man, I don't like it. I don't give a fuck. I don't like your opinion. I don't like your face. You know, if you don't tell me why, I can't help with that. You tell me why, I'm here for it.
You can't help with it. I get that.
Yeah. I look. Never mind. You are a nicer person than me. You leave this one off. I've been talking too much anyway.
Look, I'll lead it off. Look, first of all, this is 000 by design or black by design, depending on how you want to play it. Trey, we talked about a lot today. We did.
This nigga just died. Howard
and research.
Hell, Howard, you just froze on me. I was scared I lost you for a second.
Really?
This is this is. That was it.
That's cool. Okay. All right. Well, look,
Okay,
I'm gonna make this
go.
fast. Black by design, bro. I'm Howard Hall. That's Tre Stewart. We'll be back, bro. See a lot of design, a lot of comedy, and a whole lot of stuff. Damn it. That's my camera. Fuck it. We out.
All right. Yeah, I'm good for the day, man. Yeah.